Hello everyone, this is KT Flash 96, and I'm going to be bringing you guys the Group D of the Seaside Super Tournament round of 8. And this series is going to be between Mind and Free on Fighting Spirit. We're going to have Free up here at the 11 o'clock position as the TL Protoss. And in the 5 o'clock position, we're going to have the Brown Terran Mind. So I almost choked on some water and spat my entire mouthful on my shirt, so I had to go change. But hopefully this time I don't kill myself on water, even though I do have some near me. And yeah, I don't know. I was just laughing at something really funny. So I wonder if any of you guys have ever spat out a mouthful of water on yourself or something like that. But it happened to me, and probably not a good idea to hold in a mouth of water while watching comedy. So that is my tip for you all today. Anyways, yep, Connor finally uploaded the series last night, and I was able to get some time and do the rest of the series today. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do the Hyun versus Jaehoon series, because Afrika just, has pretty crappy buffering in their VODs, and Connor was unable to record those. So it's a little bit of a problem, but hopefully not too big. And we're going to see some pretty standard racks first into gas by Mine with a gateway into gas by Free. So we're not going to see anything cheesy. Also, neither player has scouted yet, so they're kind of preserving that extra scouting worker to Mine, increasing their economy just by a little bit. And every worker at this moment counts, it's very, very important to maintain workers early on. Even though you want to scout, it's still, it will impact build orders by a considerable amount. Let's see, 3 SCVs jump right into the gas as it finishes, with the barracks almost being done. And Free making a core, but still hasn't scouted yet, so it's a little bit of a late scout. If he was getting cheesed right now, it'd be pretty bad. But normally players do not cheese in the very first set. It's just kind of a mentality that they have. Usually the first set they don't cheese, and the second set is when they kind of bring out a little bit of cheese. But I know some players will try to catch players off guard with cheese in game 1. We're going to finally see some scouting by the worker of Mine and a Zealot by Free. Free opting not for a probe scout rather than just making a Zealot and sending out. We're actually going to see Free Mine do a double scout, and the factory coming out now for Mine. No second gateway for Free probably indicates a Nexus or a quick Robo. And I'm not sure if he's restricting goon range right now. I can't really see because the overlay is blocking it. And Free seeing the SCV coming out, and Mind does see that to Zealot first. Very importantly, a lot of Terrans nowadays have been noticing that Protosses will generally go for that Zealot first, so they have to make that supply depot next to their barracks, or put their barracks in a place where Marines can micro between buildings, which is very important actually. And he's also getting that quick bunker out front, and also getting a Vulture, interestingly enough. I think Mine has not opted for Machine Shop yet, so maybe he's getting a Vulture first and then getting a Machine Shop to get mines or speed upgrade. It's kind of interesting. Usually you see Siege Tanks going out, but yeah, there's the Vulture. And the SCV is actually going to be able to sneak past these goons. We'll see if Free can do it. Yeah, Free is going to be able to block this ramp. And Mind not going to be able to get any information out other than there's 2 goons, and he's throwing down his command center and finally getting Machine Shop. So we're going to see, it's going to be very interesting what he goes for first from the Machine Shop upgrade. Is he going to go for Siege Tank, or is he going to go for Mines or Vulture Speed? Free grabbing his expansion now to equalize the Expo count. And this Vulture is actually pretty important early on. We're going to see how Mine utilizes it, and goon range going out for Free. But we'll see how he is able to actively use his Vulture. Is he going to try to scout with it, or is he going to try to do poke in and out and try to do harassment with it? But right now, he noticed that Free does not have goon range, or else the goons would have actually fired at the Vulture. And his command center almost done, walling off with the barracks. No extra buildings yet from either player. We haven't seen Mine throw down the engineering bay or academy yet for scans or detection, or even a second factory for that matter. Free, on the other hand, has gotten his robotics facility, kind of an interesting place. I'm always very curious at what pros do to have building placement. It's always actually kind of interested in me, even though it sounds a little weird. But I think building placement is actually something that is very underrated in StarCraft. Building placement is actually pretty important because of how you want to sim city, how you want to block in your base. And actually, mine you see he's actually moving his barracks to the other side. Maybe he's thinking, well, I should probably protect this upper side rather than the bottom side. And he's in fact gone for mine first, so he's not too scared, not too worried about needing siege mode just yet. He's probably gonna make a couple more vultures and make those mines. As you know, all vultures are free. It's the mines that cost 75 minerals or 25 minerals each mine. I wish that was StarCraft 2, honestly. Like, I would make mines, the Widow mines, cheaper, but they would only be used once. I really dislike the fact that they can be used over and over again. And it's got a tank and a second factory coming out, so we're probably not going to see a timing push by Mind early on in this game, or else his second factory would have been out a lot earlier. 2 gate now for free, and we're probably also going to see a quick third soon. And we got an observer, and very smartly, that observer is going up to that 12 o'clock position, probably going to find a mine there, and then send some goons up to take out the mine. So he's gearing up to take a third right now. And this is as you know, in StarCraft Brood War, it's a much slower game, I feel like, in StarCraft 2, where in Brood War, there's a lot more macro-oriented things like injects or mules or chrono boost, whereas in StarCraft Brood War, it's very slow. The early game is very slow. At this point in the game, there'd be like a decent amount of gateway forces, but right now it's just, 5 goons maybe, and Freeze throwing up his third. But in both games, it's very important to secure the location first before sending out a probe. I know myself, I've lost my workers so many times because I didn't just check my next expo with just like a few units and clear out like mines, or maybe there's a scouting marine there or something that's always taken out my worker. But Free is making some additional observers, going to try to get some scouting information on Mine's base, and Mine himself will also be doing the same thing, sending out a barracks to scout the 6 o'clock position to gear up to take a third. And observers are noticing that there's no gas, there's no second gas for Mine, so he's focusing more on mineral intake, which probably means more vulture heavy rather than tank, and more factories adding on. The observer has made his way into Mine's base, and he's actually going to be walling off first before taking the command center. And here come the goons, trying to take some map control and pressure early on. As I said before when I did the analysis of the Bisu versus I want to say it's C. I forgot the turn he played in the individual game I casted, but he was very keen on taking a lot of map control against his opponent. And Mine actually has gone for a timing push here. He's actually brought on 4 tanks. There's a 4-tank timing push, and the goons are trying to come up here and take out all of the tanks. And I'm not sure if Mine actually has enough micro right now, and he's trying to get up into the tanks. 2 unsieged tanks actually, very smart position right now. And all the goons are going down. There's 2 tanks left. Big mine drag kills off a marine and 2 vultures, but the 2 tanks are very important, are still alive, scanning up, and he's going to be able to 9 mining at this 3rd base location. So Mine actually has gone for a quick timing push with a 4-tank siege push and bring an SAB and gonna make some turrets. And very, very interesting to know is, see, this is what I really missed from Tyson versus Effort. Tyson, or excuse me, it was Zero versus C. When Zero made a push, right, with those mutas and lings, he didn't do anything else after that. He didn't take a 3rd base, which is very important in that series, which is, I think, was why he lost so easily. Here, Mine is doing the complete opposite. Mine is taking that 3rd base off of pressure because he knows that Free is going to have to take out this force before he's able to do any other pressure, unless he just wants to go for a counter and lose this 3rd base. And so Mine is taking that base from pressure, and he's able to do this very effectively. He's going to try to send in 2 zealots, so you're going to be able to soak up a lot of the damage, meanwhile moving a lot of goons up here, but there are 3 tanks, and big damage on those goons. The choke point is working very well for Mine right now, and we'll have to see how many goons are going to go down, but these goons are going to, oh, big mine drag actually takes out both the tanks and leaves 3 goons alive. He's finally able to take it out, but I think Mine is in the upper hand right now. He did take out a lot of units of Free and didn't lose too much of his own. He only really used like 4 tanks and a few vultures and marine. So I would say Mine is in a little bit of an economic advantage right now. He is probably a bigger army count compared to Free, but Free does have a shuttle. Might be doing some pseudo bulldog style where he uses a shuttle and takes the zealots and kind of zealot bombs his opponent. And interestingly enough, Mind has opted for 6 factories, and these factories are kind of in the most ugly building arrangement I think I've ever seen for factories. He's just willy-nilly throwing them down left and right. But I think he's spacing them out more in case of recall. If free recalls, he wants to be able to send his units in very, very quickly. And the Templar Archives and Stargate going down, so it's going to be a 3-base Arbiter build from free. And Mind has secured his 3rd base. Again, no gas from the 3rd. We'll have to see if he's taken the gas yet from his secondary. And if he has, which I think he has, he's probably going to gear up into more armories, more starports, science vessels. And there's still his turret and mines out here from Mind. And he's going to be able to snipe the probe. That's actually very important. He needs to snipe the probe right now. And he's going to ignore the probe. Well, he got the probe. There's a lot of vultures out here, actually. Not enough goons to defend. And he's going to be able to box these goons in with a lot of mine placement. And we're going to have to see how the mines do. Oh, big mine drag, but kills more vultures than goons. And that's always not a good thing from the Terran, is when you put down spider mines and they go off, but they kill no goons and all your vultures. 7 factories now actually coming from mines. So he's probably going to gear up for that standard 2-1 timing, but I'm actually opting for more factories. Usually I see maybe 6 factories coming out, but as you know, these builds are very fluent. There's not a traditional timing where say I have to make X amount of factories when I make the push. And these vultures are going to try to deny this 4th base of free, and Mine will probably also gear up for another 4th base. And he's going to try to snipe the probe. He is not able to get the probe, does not see it. He's too busy putting down mines, actually. The probe's right there, go snipe it! Oh, he will not be able to do it. Oh, he does snipe it. Vulture's coming far back. A lot of goons actually dying from these mines, and he's going to be able to deny this 4th base even longer. And another 2 goons die to these vulture and mines. And Mind doing a very good job of denying this 4th base from free, and he's going to be able to slow free down. And we see that 2nd armory going up, but I don't see a science facility, so he won't be able to get to the 2nd attack, which requires a science facility. So he's a little bit, his build is probably not as fluent and efficient as he wants it to be. Goons continuously going up here, trying to reestablish positioning at the 4th base, and free finally clears it out. Honestly, I'd probably put cannons out here first before even putting down the Nexus, so that you don't lose your probe and don't continuously lose goons to mines. And noting actually, Free has a very relatively small army, and we're seeing Mind might be gearing up for a push. He's got unsieged tanks right now. He's got a... Oh, what happened here? Oh, the shuttle drop of Zealots, I think, is what happened. The command center did lose a few hit points, and missile turret was not able to complete. Well, to see what is going to continue on for Free, and how he's going to harass. So I think he's behind at this point. So he's gonna, and usually when you're behind, you're the one who has to make the more aggressive moves. You're the one who has to kind of get back in the game somehow. And Free is just not doing that. He's gonna content. He's gonna play safe. And these goons, hopefully there's an observer still there, or they're gonna run into mines and all die. Oh, mines did actually hit. As you can see, the goons have lost a bit of hit points. So as usual, Protoss is being sloppy, letting their units get hit by mines. He's finally got some cannons up here. And the Arbiter Tribunal with Arbiter's making. It's going to be interesting to note. We're going to see if he goes for the stasis or the recall first. If he goes for recall first, he's going to be more intuitive to do harass. But there's a science facility, so Mind has got +2 on the way. He's got a relatively decent sized army at home with a lot of vultures trying to do some poking around where they can. In a dropship, actually, we're going to see if there are vultures in here or tanks. Oh, there actually are 2 tanks in this dropship. And he's going to be able to reestablish his position right here, right outside of mines. Oh, big mine drag actually on the goons. And these tanks are actually going to be doing a lot of damage because there's a lot of vultures here to support and kind of create a big wall in front of the goons, where goons are going to have to run past vultures, which are big and clunky. He has reestablished the kind of pressuring position now, but Zealots will probably be able to clean this up. And a lot of goons just sitting outside in the middle of the map for no real reason. And Mind is very, very content with his positioning right now. We're actually going to be able to put some more pressure here at the 4th base of Mine. Free's trying to deny this push now by sending out a lot of zealots, but the vultures there's so many vultures out here right now, and they're killing a lot of these zealots, but finally, I think there's enough zealots now to break this, but he did lose a lot of zealots and a lot of goons, just from, a handful of vultures and 2 tanks, so very not worth it from Free, and Mine is just continuously putting himself in a better position. Arbiter and a few Dragoons here to try to put some more pressure, but Free right now is playing the catch-up game. He's not putting on enough pressure, I feel like, against Mind, who is content on sitting on 3 base and then pushing out. We're going to see when Mind pushes with that 2-1, and it's very crucial to know when players do that 2-1 timing push. We're going to see how many tanks he has. These tanks, as usual, as you know, are the most important part of these pushes, but he has a lot of tanks, probably about a control group and a half of these tanks. That's going to be a good amount. Interesting note, though, he doesn't have a lot of vultures because he sent most of his vultures to do a lot of harass and taking a 4th base here. Oh, and Free has actually established a 5th base under Mine's nose, and Mine taking a 4th base, so he's going to be economically behind a little bit right now. But generally, Terrans just need 3 base and they're fine, and here comes that 2-1 timing. We're going to see how Free is able to deal with it. There's a lot of tanks. A lot of tanks, especially on Fighting Spirit, where, you can go down kind of a circle around the middle. But he's got a lot of vultures that are zealous and high templar that are not there with him right now. He's able to snipe a observer, and these vultures are going to be able to pick off another dragoon. No, but there's a lot of zealots and a lot of high templar here. Free really needs to bring these guys into the fight and maybe do a pincer attack. As you know, Mech is not very good against pincers because they generally are very stubborn and kind of a battering ram style play. And this is the strength of 2-1. They're going to be able to push into bases of the Protoss player, and the Protoss have to deal with this accordingly. He's actually faked to the 5th, and he's going to be able to meet this Protoss army very quickly here. Free does not know about this. Free has actually moved his army towards the army because he did not realize that his army is actually moving up instead of trying to deny the 5th. And there's an Arbiter sitting out here. Maybe he's gathering energy for stasis, doesn't want to be EMP'd. But there's a lot of tanks out here. They're going to establish a very deep line. And they're going to be able to start shelling. Oh, the High Templar getting sniped by the Vultures. And they did snipe 2 High Templar and forced 1 Archon to be made. And another Arbiter here might be going for a big stasis. There's a lot of tanks grouped up and clustered. We're going to see how well his stasis field is. And, yeah, these armies are just postured right now. There's a lot of Zealots, a lot of High Templar. And I would really like to see if Free were to kind of recall on top of this army instead of stasis. But there's going to be a stasis. There's going to be a stasis. Is good. No stasis. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Free is maybe has recall actually, but he has got Goliath with Chara booster upgrades, and he's gonna try to deny this Arbiter from positioning to get a stasis field off. And here comes the big push. There are no stasis along these tanks, and there's at least 2 control groups of tanks right now, and these vultures are getting cleaned up by the mines. A good storm, but I'm not sure it's gonna be enough. There are way too many tanks, and Free's gonna lose this engagement very badly. He's probably down to maybe like 120 supply, and Mine on the other hand is probably near 180 supply, if not remaxed again. And Mine has secured that 4th base at the 3 o'clock position. Free is still mining considerably well, to be noted, but he's losing just a lot of units carelessly. This is the problem with Protosses nowadays, is that they're very hesitant on taking engagements with their enemies. And he's trying to do what Bisu did, is go around this army, but this army is way too big. It worked for Bisu because his army was the same size, and a stasis on the science vessel, but, you're wasting 100 energy and not really doing much. A good stasis there is going to be able to block off a lot of the ramp, but where are the Arbiters? I'm sure Free had more Arbiters, and actually lifting kind of silly. I guess he scouted because the small force was going to come out the 4th, but there is no pressure. He's going to have to bring this army back. He's trying to clean up this push, but at this point, honestly, I like what Mine was thinking. He has a big army out here, and there's no real way for there to be a cleanup, and Free is going to probably lose this game. He has just 2 little units, and he should have just gone after that 4th base instead, but this way he's just sealing his own grave. That is the nail in the coffin. A good storm, but it's way too little, too late at this point. He did lose too many units early on, and Mine did a very good job of cleaning up this army by Free and putting on a lot of pressure. He's got still a control group of tanks left, and that's a lot of tanks. There are a lot of zealots out here, which is actually very good against tanks. But big reinforcement, another control group, and we're gonna see some more Goliaths, more vultures and tanks coming to reinforce this push. And you know, this tiny force of free is really not gonna be able to do much. There's so much mech out here, and there are no units out for free right now. He is out of position, and he's lost too many units. Mine is going to be easily able to clean up this game. And so there's really two ways to go about against in the Terran versus Protoss when you go for that timing push. Is either you're going to go for those bases, or you're going to go for just a straight up kill on the army of the Protoss. And in this game, he has elected to go for the kill. Big MP, but he does manage to snipe the Arbiter anyways. Afrika's lagging. He's Afrika knows it's over. Big mind drags into the Zealots. And yeah, this game is pretty much over. Afrika lagging a little bit. That's not Connor's fault. That is Afrika's fault. Freak desperately trying to push back this force, but there's way too many tanks. And very smart use of D-Matrix, putting on the very front tank so the Goons and Zealots get aggroed onto that, and then the rest of the tanks behind are able to do a lot of damage. Small things like this are, you know, what make pros, and they're able to micro very sufficiently. And Free has been very careless and losing a lot of units to mines this game. And notably, Free has not Mine has not retaken his 4th base, even though this game is pretty much over. He's managed to take out the actual base, and he's going to probably shove himself into the main of Free. Free is kind of having a fantasy GG time right now, kind of trying to stay within this game. It's not really going to work. You know, these mines are very well positioned by Mind, and he's going to be able to clean up this force again. And there's the GG by Free. We're going to be going into Game 2 coming up on Circuit Breakers.